Good morning, everybody. I'm telling you what, I barely could sleep last night. I mean, I did sleep, but I was just so excited about everything. Let's go see outside. Today's the day. I get to introduce you to my new / old friend, Shauna. There we go. Make sure nothing's popping out there. I can just sit back this morning and watch her with you. Keep in mind, this is from a few days ago about Venus retrograde, but let me tell you something. Oh, man, was she right on point. Second thing is, I'm not talking about kitty cats anymore on this morning coffee with Kam. A month ago, or any time before that in the last 12 years, if somebody who might have had something fun to say or enjoyable started going on and on about pets, I'd be gone. So for you cat lovers, I started another playlist on Coffee with Kam. I just wanted to say that. I'm not gonna mention the kitties anymore here. Check out that playlist if you're interested. I guess I could post a link at the end of this episode for that, so that y'all know where it is, and then you're on your own with the cats, okay? Okay. Today, Shauna, your voice and your words is so important. Thank you so much. My friend Shauna, y'all, I got over my discomfort edge to reach out to somebody who's basically like a distant peripheral connection, but who I always felt was a dolphin. I think my dolphin dar is better than my gaydar. Pretty sure. My gaydar is getting faulty in my old age. It's weird. We had a fantastic conversation yesterday. Goodness gracious, her energy, you like a damn Buddha, woman. Now, her energy is quite different from mine because we are quite different signs, she and I. I'm referring to astrological signs, which I know just enough about to sound like I know what I'm talking about. I want you to know right now, I don't have a clue. I'm a Libra. We're like the balance. People are not ever surprised to know that I'm a Libra. I am almost never surprised when I meet somebody who's a Scorpio. I can almost call you Scorpios from a mile away. But Shauna, too, is a Scorpio. And that surprised me. How she opened this video up as she was talking about how we need to love ourselves. And you know what? Go ahead and roll your eyes. I've been hearing that my whole life, too. My mama, oh mama, my mother is a seeker of expansion, everything. She's a seeker of everything. My years in high school, I lived just with my mom. And my mom and I got super close, best friends, best friends. She was always processing with me the latest and greatest in psychology and metaphysics and astrology and process work and Thich Nhat Hanh and Feng Shui or Feng Shui or who gives a hell what the hell it's called. The point of what it is real and awesome. And the little bells dinging between the kitchen and the living room like ding. Time for a moment of silence, like things like that. This is what I was not bred, that sounds not good, basked. I'm just saying that my mother introduced my spirit to a whole ton of different avenues of how to look at the world, how to look at myself, how to think about things, and I am so grateful for her. And because of that, typically, Shauna, we talked about this, so don't take it personally. You take Shauna's incredible work and put that in front of me 5 years ago, I would have started it and I would have been like, because anything that gets into the realm of the true, deep, centered heart has been very uncomfortable for me. in my adult life, because I spent so much time listening to the processes of all of these things. Whether we know it or not, we're always kind of trying to correct our experience with our own parents and do it differently. Of course, my children would laugh because I'm always talking about the universe and following the flow and trust the process and be in today and love yourself, and it's about the inside, not the outside. And so, damn it, I have become a mother. I would have opened up Shauna's video and it would have resonated like Stuart Smalley on Saturday Night Live. And I would have turned it into a big joke and completely missed the heart and the point. Thank God we get to wake up. I'm 42 and I am finally realizing, mother, what you've been talking about my whole life. And it is blowing my mind wide open. So thank you. And I apologize for my lifetime of being like, okay, Mom, I gotta go. Okay, Mom. Sorry about that. Okay. Here's Shauna.
So right now we are in a time when Venus is in retrograde. I thought it would be a good time to come on and talk a little bit about relationships and self-love and why that is a good thing and not a selfish thing and not a narcissistic thing. The biggest lesson we need to learn around a relationship is begins with ourselves. It begins with learning how you relate to yourself. And if you want to be able to love other people, you first need to love you. And the reason for that is because relationships, especially close ones, become mirrors for us. They become places in which we see either the good in ourselves, because the person we are with sees that in us and reflects it back. That feels like a healthy relationship. When we feel like we're seen, when we feel like we are seen and heard, and when we are with someone that we can see and hear, and we can reflect that back to them. And then we can look at the opposite. We can look at a toxic relationship and how that feels, and how that feels like someone is projecting something onto you that is not really there. How you can respond in ways that feel so disingenuous to who you are. They bring out the worst in you, essentially. Typically, that's because the person that you're with isn't loving themselves. They are coming from a place of struggling within, and rather than owning that and working on that, they project that out. And of course, we can do that to other people too, and sometimes we're in a relationship where we're doing that to each other, either out of habit or because we've kind of outgrown that relationship. We've learned as much as we can, and now it's just become toxic. Then what we need to do when we're in that kind of relationship is love ourselves, right? Come back and figure out how to best love yourself in that situation. If you could possibly become the person who fully loves and accepts yourself, however you are, then the relationships that you're in are going to reflect that. You will then be able to love other people that way because you love yourself that way. When you embody this unconditional love, which first comes from having that for yourself, then you can have it for other people. We can never show that to other people until we've learned to show it to ourselves. So it is not selfish or narcissistic, and narcissism is a whole other thing. People who are totally self-centered are not confident at all. People who would try to keep bringing the attention back to them, it's because they aren't comfortable in themselves. So it's a whole different thing. With self-love, it is this knowing that you are worthy, that you are divine. And once you see and feel that divinity in yourself. Don't question it. Just believe that it is. Then you are able to see it in someone else, in everyone else, in fact. If you think of, any spiritual leader, they knew that about themselves first before they were able to love other people unconditionally, before they were able to make great sacrifices. They first knew that they loved themselves unconditionally and were loved unconditionally. So as we are in a time of learning about relationships, as we are in a time where we are probably interacting less with other people, we are given the opportunity to really turn inward and focus on how we relate to ourselves and learn how to love ourselves unconditionally. So take the time to do that. It's really not easy. It's one of the hardest things you can do, which is why, again, it's not selfish, because it's really hard work. And I'm happy to help anyone who is on that journey right now, to give you tips on how to do that. I'm not going to say love everyone, because that feels like a sort of a command. Love yourself. That's how I'm going to sign off. Love yourself.